This LOS is calculate and interpret the forward rate consistent with the spot rate and the interest rate in each country. Okay, if you've been running these videos on autoplay, you're going to see that we're seeing this same slide again, but you have to realize that the one of the LOS is calculate, interpret a forward discount or premium. Well, you can't calculate the forward discount or premium without calculating the forward rate. And so this LOS is calculate, interpret the forward rate. So in a sense, we're getting some duplication. And this is the forward rate that's consistent with the spot rate and the interest rate in each country. So again, we're seeing a little bit of repetition throughout these LOSs, but that's fine. So a quick little review. A forward contract is an agreement to exchange one currency for another, future date. Spot rate is a current rate of exchange. If the forward rate is greater than the spot rate, the difference is the forward premium. If the forward rate is less than the spot rate, the difference is a forward discount. And the relationship between the spot and the forward rate depends on the interest rate in the two countries. And notation is F over D, or as we've seen, it's the price over the base, okay? So we've seen this again because, as I said, the LOS to calculate, interpret a forward discount or premium, or we also had the LOS, which is explain the arbitrage relationship between the spot rates, forward rates, and interest rates, and even converting the forward quotations expressed on a points basis. We've gone through this a fair bit. Nevertheless, this LOS calculate, interpret the forward rate consistent with the spot rate. So how do we do that? The forward rate equals the spot rate times 1 plus the interest rate of the foreign or the price currency multiplied by T if the time is less than 1 year, because as we said, it could be 30 days or 60 days or 90-day forward, 270 days, etc. Or in case of a 1 year, obviously that would be 1. So if it's less than a year, then what do we need to do? It's 1 plus the interest rate foreign times the actual number of days over 360 in the numerator divided by 1 plus the interest rate domestic times the number of days actual divided by 360. Okay, so we can see we're going to get a forward premium if the interest rate in the numerator is higher than the interest rate in the denominator. So if the foreign interest rate is higher than the domestic interest rate, the forward rate is going to be at a premium, okay? Okay, so we'll do a practice question. Again, the LOS is calculate, interpret the forward rate consistent with the spot rate and the interest rate in each country. This question is asking us to calculate the number of forward points. So we have to calculate the forward rate, and then we have to put it in terms of points. So it's a good review. So let's look at it. If the 270-day LIBOR rates annualized for the euro and Great Britain pound are 1.37% and 1.325% respectively, and the spot rate, Great Britain pound to the euro exchange rate, is 0.8489, then the number of forward points for a 270-day forward, and they're giving to you here F GBP to the euro is closest to A, negative 22.8, B, negative 3.8, or C, negative 2.8. Okay, these questions are not too difficult. We have to calculate the forward rate, and then we have to calculate, first of all, and then calculate the number of forward points, okay? So we know that the forward rate equals the spot rate times 1 plus the interest rate in the price currency times time. In this case, it's 270 days divided by 360, divided by 1 plus the interest rate of the base currency times 270 over 360. So remember, we've seen the nomenclature of F over D, but I like to remember it as price over base, because they're giving you the exchange rate here, G Great Britain pound to euro. So you know that the Great Britain pound is the price currency and the euro is the base currency. So therefore, when it comes to the interest rate for the numerator, and the way that I would do it sometimes when I'm reading the question, I'm even going to write the euro here, and I'm going to write the Great Britain pound, because they're giving you the currencies first and then the rates. I just want to make sure absolutely that I'm getting the right rate, okay? So again, the formula forward equals the spot times 1 plus the interest rate, price currency, 270 over 360, divided by 1 plus the interest rate, the base currency, which is the euro, and that's 1.37% times 270 over 360. So there's our spot rate. That's fine. And now we've got our numerators and denominators set up. So if we just bring up the calculator very quickly, to go through this. You can see, so my numerator, and again, one of the tricks that I said, 1.325%, I just want to be careful, 1.325, I'm going to hit the percentage key just so I don't get any mistakes with my decimals. Then I'm going to multiply that by 270 divided by my 360, and I'm going to add my 1, and you can see I'm getting 1.009938, okay? With a few more decimals, or 1.00994, okay? And then if I bring up to calculate the denominator, I'm going to do just make sure I clear that, 1.37, going to hit the percent key, times 270 divided by 360. Going to add my 1, and I'm going to get 1.01275. In this case, it's been rounded 1.0128. Okay, so then I'm just going to do 1.00994 divided by 1.01028, and you can see it's going to be at a discount, times my spot rate, 0.8489, and we've got our forward rate of 0.848614, okay, or 0.848614. Going to subtract our spot rate, 0.8489, forward minus our spot rate. And what do? Recall, we're going to multiply by 10,000 to get our points, and it's negative 2. It's closest to C, negative 2.856, okay, or negative 2.8. So a nice little question there, because in review, we needed to calculate the forward rate. That's the LOS for this, based on interest rates, price currency, base currency. And then we had to calculate, in this case, put it in terms of points. And remember, how do we do that? We multiply it by 10,000. So excellent little review question. Okay, again, this might be a nice to know, maybe not a need to know, but I just want to make sure that we close the loop and cover it all. So this is the same as the slide that we previously saw. We calculated, we calculated the forward rate. We had the 270-day LIBOR rates for the euro, Great Britain pound, 1.37%, 1.325%, and we had the spot rate, Great Britain pound to the euro. So we had that's our price currency, that's our base currency, or we know sometimes we saw it as F over D, okay? And so we went through that calculation to calculate the forward rate, spot rate, times 1 plus the interest rate in the price currency, times time, divided by 1 plus the interest rate in the base currency, times time. So we did that. And we saw in that case that the forward rate was less than the spot rate. So it was trading at a discount. And to get the number of points, we multiplied by 10,000. Okay. Now, I did show this formula before, and I'm just going to show it again. We can also calculate those pips by using this other formula. I just wanted to remind you of it. If we look at the forward rate minus the spot rate is going to equal the spot rate times the interest rate in the F. So remember what the F is? That's the price. So again, that's why I said here I'm going to Great Britain pound over to the euro. This is my price and this is my base. Okay, that's the way that I'm going to do it. Or we know this is my F and this is my D. Okay, I just want to be careful with that because I want to get my terms right. So I know it's F minus D, or price minus base. Well, that's the Great Britain pound rate first minus the euro rate in the numerator, divided by 1 plus the interest rate of my D. So I know that's the 0.137 because that's price, that's base, that's F, that's D, times 270 over 360. And we're going to multiply the whole thing by time, which is 270 over 360. So if you run through that calculation, you're going to come up, the solution is going to be negative 0.00028. If you multiply that by 10,000, then again, you've got your negative 2.8 points. So again, this is called a swap points calculation, or the swap points calculation. It's a different calculation. I don't think you need to know, because as I said, if you calculate the forward rate using the easier formula to memorize and compare that to the spot rate, you'll be able to calculate the number of points. Nevertheless, there is another formula here to calculate the swap points, and this is the way you do it. And I just wanted to use this slide to show you that's how you reconcile it. Okay? So we'll just finish this LOS with 2 quick practice questions. Now the LOS is calculate. There's no calculation in this, but it reinforces the concepts. So an investment advisor is based in Sydney, Australia, has a meeting with a local client, and she's diversified her domestic bond portfolio by adding investments in fixed rate long-term bonds denominated in Hong Kong dollars. Given that the client spends most of the year in Australia, she remains concerned about the foreign exchange risk of her foreign investments and asks the advisor how these might be managed. So we have a spot exchange rate, Aussie dollar to Hong Kong, 0.1429. The 1-year Hong Kong dollar interest rate is 7%, and the 1-year forward exchange rate, Aussie dollar to Hong Kong dollar, 0.1402. Okay, so which of the following statements is most correct? Over a 1-year time horizon, the exchange rate risk of the client's investment in Hong Kong dollar denominated bonds is determined by uncertainty over A, today's Aussie dollar Hong Kong dollar forward rate, B, the Aussie dollar Hong Kong dollar spot rate 1 year from now, or C, the Aussie dollar Hong Kong dollar forward rate 1 year from now. And the correct answer in that is B, that the exchange rate risk for an unhedged investment is defined by the uncertainty over future spot rates. In this case, the relevant spot rate is that which would prevail 1 year from now. Forward rates that would be in effect 1 year from now would be irrelevant, and the current forward rate is known with certainty. So again, we've been looking at some LOSs with regards to the spot rate and the forward rate, interest rates. I just wanted to show a question here that's more theoretical than calculation. And just one last practice question to finish this LOS. So I won't read the whole thing at the top. It's the same scenario as the previous slide. The investment advisor based in Sydney. You've got a spot exchange rate of Aussie dollar to Hong Kong dollar, 0.1429. 1-year interest rate in Hong Kong, 7%. And the 1-year foreign exchange rate, forward exchange rate of 0.1402. So to reduce the exchange rate risk of the Hong Kong investment, the client should A, sell Aussie dollar spot, B, sell the Aussie dollar forward, or C, sell the Hong Kong dollar forward.